we're gonna talk about it today, man. I've been holding off on this subject, but we're gonna talk about Fat Joe and Jadakiss's new podcast. As y'all know, I'm here to correct Fat Joe's lies about music, and I'm gonna start off by saying this. I'm not going for the show is whack. You know, salute to Jadakiss. His stories are interesting, but the show is horrible. It's a cross between Drink Champs and how can I say this? It's a cross between Drink Champs and Joe Budden. It's about a cross between and I would say more so a cross between Joe Budden and Mason Cam. Probably more so Joe Budden / Mason Cam, because they're covering sports and different topics and stuff like that. And it's a terrible show, but it's just now getting started. So I'm, for the most part, leave it alone, allow it, and give it time to grow. But when he gets into talking about music, I'm going to always have something to say. We're also going to talk about a move that Snoop Dogg made. If you go back to my card reading at the beginning of the year, when I was talking about how this year is going to go, I said in one of my early shows back in January, I said, the mainstream rappers and artists, y'all about to have to come down to the grassroots YouTube audience. You know, you can't stay amongst the curated places, the TV shows and the curated YouTube podcasts. Y'all gonna have to come down to the streets. And Snoop recently did that. He hosted a forum. It had Compton Rick Rock, Nina Boy, had 80 from the community, along with Big Boy on the radio, the mainstream guys. And Snoop made a move that I thought I knew somebody needed to make soon. And Snoop was the first to really make it on the level of the people who are really on the internet, not out here getting major sponsorship deals and all kind of stuff like that, but the people who are getting it on their own, like Nina Boy and Compton Rick Rock. So we're going to report on that and talk about all that good stuff. But before we get into talking about all that, we got to first praise the Lord. We got to praise the Lord. And we have to thank the Lord. Thank you, Lord, for burning down the Nottoway plantation, the largest remaining plantation since antebellum slavery. The good Lord has decided to burn that motherfucker down. As y'all can see right here, as we celebrate burning down white people of white supremacists, their mayonnaise tears are heartbroken and confused and don't know what to do. You know, they're sad. But it ain't about what they feel, it's about what we feel. Good riddance. This plantation just outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Hell, if you ask me, it looked like the plantation on Red Dead Redemption. Is it the plantation on Red Dead Redemption? But yeah, we celebrate the burning down of this plantation. However it started, it must have been an act of God, you know? But recently, there was... Let me see. There we go. Recently, there was just released about 20 minutes ago, there are images of the suspect of the fire. So what I'm gonna need y'all to do is to see if you know any of these suspects, and if you know any of these suspects, authorities are asking that you call. Let me here. Here's one. These are the suspects. Let us know if you've seen these people right here. You see right there? The authorities want to know if you run across these suspects. They're considered a little armed and dangerous. They've been described by the plantation owner as little nigglets. He said that's their name. The local reporters caught this image of who we believe to be the owner chasing the suspects of the Nottoway fire. So if you have any news as to where these little nigglets may be, please call 911. You see here, this is the plantation owner said, if you have, he describes them as little nigglets. That's what the plantation owner describes them as. So if you have any information as to the whereabouts of these little nigglets, let us know. Or let the authorities know. Oh, I think I'm about to watch Tales from the Hood tonight. I swear I'm about to watch Tales from the Hood tonight. You East Coast niggas don't know about that from the 90s. It's a West Coast film. So if you run across these little nigglets, please call the authorities as soon as possible. Let me see here. Let's see here. Y'all remember this? Where is it at? Where is it here? Here we go. Y'all remember this scene in Tales from the Hood?
Voodoo bitch.
That's the plantation. That's that. This is the scene. This is what was going on in the house moments before the fire. This is images of what was going on in the Nottoway plantation house moments before the fire. We'll let a few of y'all get in here, then we're gonna get started. These are images recently released from the fire moments before the house burned down. And yeah, so if you have any whereabouts as to where these little nigglets are, please call the authorities at your earliest convenience, all right? All right. But I appreciate y'all for joining. Dano Williams, Eddie Kane, Lady Hotep, Donna C. Appreciate y'all for joining. Clout, Charlie P, Dano, everybody else, AK. I can't get to everybody, but I appreciate all y'all for joining, all right? But make sure you tell the police about these little nigglets as soon as possible if you happen to see them running around Baton Rouge, Louisiana. All right, let's get into it. Fat Joe capping for content. Oh, and also my Black History Month music t-shirts will be back on my website tomorrow. Black History Month t-shirts. Black Music Month. June is Black Music Month. And we will be celebrating all June. And they'll be live with you for Black Music Month starting tomorrow. All right. But salute to everybody in here. Salute to the mods. Appreciate all y'all for joining. So, for those of you who don't know, Fat Joe has a new podcast with Jadakiss. And if you ask me, my opinion is this is a response to how he was treated and booed off the stage after his appearance on Math Hoffa talking about a whole bunch of broke niggas. Fat Joe is an out of touch, but at the same time put on by Rock Nation individual. Went from beefing with Jay to being Jay's boy. Do boy. So, in order to get some cultural cachet, in order to get some credibility back within the culture, they teamed Fat Joe up with somebody we actually like, and that's Jadakiss. So, we gotta, in order for us to get to the thoughts and opinions of somebody we like, we have to sit through the capping and bullshitting of somebody who's an obvious culture vulture. Fat Joe is probably a bigger culture vulture than Michael Rappaport. And no, if this gets back to Fat Joe, I ain't got no personal issues with you, but this ain't your culture, homie. This you was a guest. Sometimes the guest brings a dish that people in the house may like. But just because he brought a dish that other guests and some of the people who own the house may like, it still don't make it your house. And get all them goddamn rice and beans off the dish too. We don't like all that. You know, your Goya powder filled rice and beans commitment that you brought over to the potluck don't mean that you are part of the house. But you team them up with somebody who is, and here you have a show. Make sure y'all hit the like button and let's get into it. Let's see here. So I'll play some of the video, and I'm not gonna go through too much of it because I'm not about to actually play video because I ain't trying to get no strike. But I will play some. I'll play some of the audio from the video. Well, maybe if I make it real small. Let me see. What if I do this? What if I do this? We're gonna play some of it. If I just make it small over here, that's what we're gonna do. Just gonna make it small, and we're gonna make some comments off of it. Let's just do this. That's what we're gonna do. Listen to these comments that Fat Joe made about LA and LA hip hop. Just lying like a motherfucker. They're talking about the Kendrick and Drake beef, and then we're gonna listen to what he has to say. Then we're gonna get into it and correct his bullshit. I have a feeling we're gonna be doing a lot of correcting Fat Joe's bullshit as long as this podcast is going on. Let's take a listen.
Kendrick and Drake discrepancy, what they like to call it beef in the media world, since we in media.
We in media now.
But thank God nothing happened to anybody physically.
Yeah.
But how you feel about? Personally, I thought it was about 4 or 5 months ago. I can't believe it's already been a year.
This shit is out of control, man. How's it a year? But what I can tell you is, boy, that Kendrick Lamar gets some spins in LA radio. Nah.
Everybody from LA gets spins on LA.
You never seen, when's the last time you went and put on the radio in LA? I was there last week.
I was there like last week too.
Bro, I never seen nothing like this. Like every single song, they like to turn the TV off. The other one, there's this, the this, that, the this, that, the scissor, the loot, the this, that. What?
It's spinning.
It's a fact. Kendrick Lamar gets played 9 out of every 10 songs in LA right now. Not even
Cap. Why this dude always gotta lie? Does Kendrick get played in LA a lot? Kinda, yeah, a little bit right now, but LA radio is no different than a lot of radio around the country. They play the hottest songs. It just so happened Kendrick has the hottest shit. And it ain't been that much hot shit that's come along that's hotter than what was played on GNX. But they still get a lot of Drake played here. It's still a lot of Drake played on the radio here. Not as much as before the beef, but it still gets played. Doechii, all of the people that they have in the top, whatever, gets played a lot. Cap. It's not just Kendrick. As a matter of fact, listen to this part Jadakiss said that I'm gonna talk about it.
Snoop Dogg, not even Tupac Shakur, not nobody from LA has dominated the paint. Like this guy, this last year, what they doing in LA, you know, if you from LA, you think there's only one guy on earth, Kendrick Lamar. I'm just keeping it a buck with you.
No, you're not. No, we know it's more than that. He's not dominating radio any more than Ice Cube was dominating radio between 1990, between America's Most Wanted and Lethal Injection, 90 to 94. Kendrick ain't getting no more spins than Ice Cube got during that stretch. He ain't getting no more spins than Snoop Dogg got during Doggy Style and when the blue carpet treatment dropped. Kendrick ain't getting no more spins than when Snoop dropped All Eyes on Me. I mean, Tupac dropped All Eyes on Me. He ain't getting no more spins than The Game when he dropped. Kendrick, now he's getting more. Every mainstream artist the city supports that goes through. Now the city does have an issue. The problem with LA is the non-chosen, and Kendrick is the part of the chosen. The non-chosen, your Nipseys back in the day before Nipsey died, those guys didn't get a lot of play. Kendrick wasn't getting played during Section 80. And he got fair play during Good Kid, Mad City. But Kendrick ain't getting, let me tell y'all something, I live in LA. Kendrick ain't getting no more play than The Game got when he dropped this shit with Kanye.
Been around hoes that fuck Biggie and Pac like Vita Guerrera. Ass took her to the top. She'll give you some brains, you let her throw up the rock.
He ain't getting no more play than The Game got when that dropped. And do you know that song is it's a sample of this by, where's it at?
Hard to find your wide world. You wouldn't get away.
Y'all ever heard that by Creative Source? Kanye mixed this up by Creative Source.
I'd find you in radar. You wouldn't get far. It would be just a waste of time.
That's where Kanye got that sample from, a song called I'd Find You Anywhere by Creative Source. Kanye flipped that, sped it up, and then dropped that classic with The Game. Quick little music history. Well, anyway, so you see already jealous New York shit coming out to LA. Probably listened to the radio for 10 minutes, if that. And he come on the podcast lying about my city off top.
You turn on that radio in LA. If you're from LA, you work at Target. Okay, Amazon, you delivering some shit, you working at the bakery, Panaderia, whatever, East LA homes. You thinking there's one man breathing in hip hop. It's called Kendrick Lamar. I'm keeping it a buck with you.
No, he had a hell of a year.
Jesus.
He had a hell of a career, but his last year, so
what do you think about beef in the hip hop? Like I done answered this a million times.
It's getting out of hand.
So there we go. We got Cap Joe coming off the top, coming to LA capping. Danny Links, no one asked you what you would call it. I called it classic. If you don't think it's a classic, that's your opinion. But nobody asked. In my opinion, that song is a motherfucking classic because it still gets played 20 years later. No matter how I feel about Kanye now, if the song still sounds good 20 years later and not dated, it's a classic to me. But anyway, I digress. So that's right there, one part. Like coming out to LA capping, just tell your little funky ass stories without lying on my city, please, and talking about trying to make it seem as if we only like one artist. But we love Anderson .Paak out here. Fuck you talking about? We love Flying Lotus out here. We know all these people exist. Terrence Martin, we love them out here. The hell you talking about? YG, we love these cats out here. The fuck is you talking about? Absol, we love these cats out here. I'm gonna get to Jadakiss in a moment. Donna C asked earlier, do you think that Jadakiss understands what's going on with Fat Joe and him losing cultural credibility? Probably not. A lot of them dudes live in a bubble. But now that he's on the internet, now that Jadakiss is on YouTube, he pretty goddamn soon is gonna find out. He gonna find out pretty goddamn soon. All right, now this is another part I wanted to get to on another segment I wanted to get to on that show. Where's my timestamp at? You wouldn't get far. Listen to him talking about his seats, and this is right here is you see what they're. Pay attention to this. Yeah, Thundercat. Hell yeah. Thundercat is that guy on that bass. But what you're about to see here from Fat Joe is him using the Joe Budden podcast as clout to draw controversy, to get attention over to his platform. Now, I'm not sure if Fat Joe wants to start a back and forth with Joe Budden. Now, not to say that this isn't a play, it couldn't be a play, but listen to what he has to say and all this this real just pay attention to the maturity level of this guy. You know, sounding like a damn teenager bragging about his toys. Listen to what he says and how he integrates Joe Budden into this Knicks game situation.
Oh, you the king of everywhere. Let me tell you something, bro. They Fashion Week, everything come down here, everything touch here. So, you know, last night you go to the Knicks game, they got the Kardashians all front. Like, this is like, let me tell you something. New York got a lot of stars. Like,
he's talking about that time last week. Oh, let me give you a little more backstory. He's talking about last week when he and 50 Cent were at the game, the Knicks game, and Joe Budden was there too. Joe Budden and 50 Cent, they've been going back and forth. 50 Cent went ham on Joe Budden like 2 months ago, last month, on social media about his whole insomnia walking and all that perverted shit he was doing in his sleep while he was sleepwalking. They've been having to going back and forth. Joe Budden cleared things up on his podcast saying that, you know, he and 50 talked whatever, but Joe Budden didn't get into the bullshit. You know, he squashed it, he deaded it, you know, 50's over here, I'm over there. And now you got Cap Joe trying to reignite the flames between two black men. Listen to this.
These big time stars, like it's like they putting them up a deck now. They ain't just courtside. It's too many. It's too many superstars in New York City. If you look at it, the Kardashians is there, the Bad Bunnies is there, the Cardi B's, the Stephons, the this one, the that one, the Sopranos, the this, the Tina Fey's, the this. It's just too many stars in New York City. Now, if we were somewhere else in the B market or C market, that shit open all day. The courtside is open. This is a hard ticket to get.
Hard to get a ticket.
Hard to get a ticket.
I heard that. What was the most expensive ticket for the game? What, 500,000? Something like that? 130,000?
I don't know. It was 54,000 to seat the game I went. I was tempted
like
to sell it.
or something like that.
I would have never caught a ticket again. You know that shit was 54,000 a seat.
That's crazy. I would never do that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What?
I ain't paying 50 for a ticket.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Well, I've done it.
I can do a lot with 50 grand.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the New York Knicks, a Knick floor seat experience is like a bucket list of life that, you know, you can cross that off.
I
That's
kind of did it for free, so I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
He's
That's
a
why I
World
would never pay
Series.
for the ticket. I need
Well,
it free.
let me tell you something, man. I've paid that much, even more for boxing matches.
Nah,
Like
I'll do
where,
that.
you know, the shit is crazy because your man Edgar Berlanga,
Let me get to
the
the
little
part.
man Edgar Berlanga fight Canelo. I'm not going 5 row. I gotta be front row.
So you want all the
Cause
sales.
somebody you don't like, your enemy, gonna come sit right.
Here
You
it
know
is.
that we call that the Joe Button seats. You know them second row.
I don't even got
You
a
ain't got a
hood.
hoodie.
I don't
Yo.
even got a hood.
Yo, listen, them second, third row, that ain't. I can't do it. I gotta sit front row. I give you my experience.
What do you call them seats?
The Joe Button seats. Them shit second.
He called those the Joe Budden seats. Reigniting the flame, or attempting to reignite the flame between 50 and Joe Budden. Joe Budden didn't have anything to say about Fat Joe. Joe Budden's issues with 50 and 50's issues with Joe Budden. And so now he's rubbing it in Joe Budden's face that he had better seats than Joe Budden. Look at the values this guy expresses. Materialism and bullshit. Non-grown man mindset whatsoever. No maturity level. Just straight up young boy, young-minded in a 50-year-old person. Bragging about seats. Like, I get it. There is a thing, and I've been there. I've been in those seats before. Not at the Madison Square Garden, but I have sat courtside at Laker games, both Staples Center and the Great Western Forum. So I'm not about to sit here and say that I don't understand. Here it is. Let me show you this right here. Pin to me. I've been in the Joe Budden seats before, and I've been on the floor. My first time sitting on the floor was at the Forum. I had this white homeboy. His mom worked at the Forum, and we sat courtside the 1994 season, James Worthy's final season with the Lakers, when Magic coached like the last 20 games of the season. Nick Van Exel was a rookie. I sat with my feet on the floor there, so I know. But I was only in middle school, you know what I mean? Back when that happened. But then, like, about when the Lakers played the Cap Joe, look at the date, April 29, 2010. I'm like, oh boy, in the middle. I don't pay for these seats, nigga. I ain't pay for these shits. This was Kevin Durant's first playoff game. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James. I was there in the Joe Budden seats. I wasn't right there with my feet on the floor, but I was right there, right behind him in the playoffs. So, Fat Joe, you talking to somebody, hey, I've been there before. You're not talking to somebody who's a novice at this, homeboy. Been there too. I ain't paid for shit. That's a flex to me. I ain't about to brag about spending no goddamn 50 what? I got to see my Lakers. I was sitting courtside to see my Lakers beat the Boston Celtics, and I had to pay a dime. Thank you, Jeannie Buss, for them seats. Hold on, Rocky want to come in. Want to come in, Rocky? Come on. There you go, baby boy. There you go, baby boy. There you go. Rocky, say what's up to the people. You know when I be leaving you, I be going to them games and concerts and shit, Rocky. I be leaving you to go to them concerts. Rocky be mad. Say what's up to the people, Rocky. You said, man, fuck them niggas. I want to put me down. All right, I got you, homeboy. I got you. There you go. $54. Man, you ain't bragging to nobody who know a little thing. Who you flexing for is my question. That's not a flex. Let me see where my ticket book at, nigga. still got them tickets? Cause I know for sure my flex was on my ticket. That shit said comp. Was it these? Where that ticket that I had to the finals? That's my flex. My flex was, nigga, I got to sit courtside with the Lakers. Comp. That's a flex to me, goddammit. See, look, here we go. Look. Y'all think I'm lying. This isn't that same game. That what I showed y'all was game, this was game 3 at Staples Center. Y'all think I'm lying? Look what it say. 0. I spent $0 to sit in section 112, row B, seat 19. 0. Nigga, that's a flex, goddammit. Fuck out of here. And that was the last legitimate championship my Lakers had. They won a little bullshit bubble ring since then, but if real LA niggas don't count the bubble. That's weak. The bubble was weak. We don't count that. That was our last real championship here in LA. But so this is what we're gonna be monitoring this podcast. But going back to him doing that shit with Joe Budden. Why are you over here? You a grown ass man in your 50s. Why are you over here starting shit between 2 other men? That ain't had nothing to do with you. Is that what it takes? Your name is Fat Joe. You should not need controversy to sell subscriptions to your channel. Your word should be enough because you've been in the industry for 30 plus years. And you saw Jadakiss backing up off it. Jadakiss was like, yeah, nah, I ain't about to get into that. Jadakiss was like, yeah, man, Jada, you better watch out. You sitting next to somebody that likes offending your culture, who enjoys offending people of your culture, Jadakiss. I don't want to see you take no strays, because Fat Joe, you are on the internet now. Y'all remember when it was people like Fat Joe that was calling people on the internet a bunch of broke niggas? Wasn't it just early this year on Math Hoffa show? Fat Joe was saying FBA is these people all on the internet that don't exist in real life, and they're a whole bunch of broke niggas. Well, if the internet is full of broke niggas, why are you on the internet now? That's a serious question. Why are you on the internet now if it's just a whole bunch of broke niggas there? You notice all these mainstream folks that was dismissing us YouTubers, oh, you YouTube, oh, that person's internet famous. They're internet famous. They're YouTube famous. The term internet famous was a derogatory term in 2016. YouTube famous was a derogatory term before the pandemic. Hell, even a little bit after the pandemic. Why y'all all coming over here now? And I want y'all to see the play at. There's a play happening right here. There's a play at hand. Rocky over here snoring like a motherfucker. There's a play at hand right now. Look at what YouTube is doing. YouTube, look at the numbers of your day-to-day content creators, the ones that don't have mainstream backing. Because if you look on Fat Joe's, their backing is through Boost Mobile. Everybody's basically backed by a liquor or gambling site, DraftKings or erectile dysfunction site. They either got dick pills. These internet shows by celebrities are backed by gambling, liquor, and dick pills. And sorry ass Boost Mobile phone service. These podcasts are now starting to get priority on YouTube. You're seeing all of the NBA guys and NFL guys create their own podcasts. The musicians are doing it. And the thing is, it's not necessarily their podcast. They're teaming up with the white boys who run the internet. Shannon Sharp. That's through Colin Cowherd's channel. That's through Colin Cowherd. Gillian Wallow. Barstool Sports. Mason Cam. What's his name? Mark Cuban is the money behind all that. You got those black podcasts. You're starting to see what they're doing. What these folks are doing is they're trying to infringe on the territory of the day-to-day content creator like me, the real journalists like the Company Man, Black Alpha, Black Alpha Network, Thought Crimes, Red Supreme, the people out here who really care about what they're talking about, Curtis King TV, and we can go down the line. These people are everyday hustlers that are great at what they do, that without mainstream support and mainstream backing brought journalism with integrity back to journalism. And they're not even journalists. People who call a ball, a strike. Tisa Tells, her channel. Pink Book Lessons, her channel. On these people like my man Sincere Love to God and Nicey Girl, they got a dope channel together. We can't seem to stay in the algorithm. We got to keep moving and changing. And then out of nowhere, Doggy Diamond, his channel. That's a good channel to watch. Appreciate that, Landon, for the super chat. You got your black media, your Tariq Nasheed's channels. Tariq is still going strong. 5150 going strong. But I think both Tariq and 5150 should be bigger. I really do. I don't believe them numbers. I'm going to tell y'all something. Especially 5150. The last time I did 5150 was probably 2 or 3 years ago. And it had less than half of the subscribers that it has now. And I remember I was in DC getting in the Uber to go to the airport. And it was this young dude that chased me down. Was like, hey, was you on 5150 earlier this week? Nigga, I ain't done 5150 in 2.5, 3 years. And I still get recognized from doing 5150. I done did Fox Soul. I done had an appearance on The Neighborhood on CBS. I done a lot of other shit. But I've only been on 5150 like 3 times. 2 or 3 times. And the last time was like 3 years ago. And it's still more recognition from that than anything mainstream that I did. You said you had to unsubscribe. Well, she doing a good job with the Diddy coverage. It's the lip smacking that gets me with Tisa Tells. I be listening to my podcast in my headphones when I'm walking and doing other shit. And people that keep, I gotta stop. I can't listen to lip smacking with some very high quality headphones. Hell, that shit annoys the fuck out of me. It's a few channels I had to stop. I can't really listen. I would like to listen to more, but because some of these niggas like eating when they do their podcast, and another thing, I just can't listen. You want to chew licorice and shit into the mic? Yeah, I can't listen. But we're trying. But this is the play here. To get these mainstream to get these Gil's Arena, these shows that you see, and pay attention to think about how they do the black audience. You can have a show with an NBA Hall of Famer as the host, a rock and roll Hall of Fame musician, or whatever, current actor, Grammy Award-winning artist, and these companies only think enough of black audiences to give us DraftKings, sports gambling, which I think should be illegal. It was illegal most of my whole life to advertise gambling. But now sports, they only think of black folks enough to give us sports gambling, dangerous ass ED pills, because you can't tell me that shit is safe. That they giving you, because they're not giving you no goddamn Viagra. They give you some other shit. You can't tell me that shit's safe. My opinion. I'm not a doctor. They're giving you liquor, which I don't mind drinking, but all of the major black podcasts, from Club Shay Shay to Gil's Arena in sports to this, they're all sponsored by some shit you don't need. Or a bum ass phone company like Boost Mobile. Why can't, like, you ever notice Verizon don't advertise with black folks? AT&T don't advertise with us. Macy's. There's a lot of product out there that black people buy. But they give us the bullshit. Now, I'm not going to say I turned down one of those sponsorships. Hell, if DraftKings came to me today and they was offering me the right money, hell yeah, I'll take it. As long as they ain't trying to change what I'm saying, that's where I draw the line. You can't edit what I say. That's where my line is drawn. You know, I gotta be able to say what I gotta say. You can't tell me not to talk about this and not talk about that. Nigga, fuck you. But if DraftKings was willing, or one of them liquor companies was willing to throw some money my way, and I could still talk the shit that I talk, hell yeah, I'm taking the money. So I'm not about to sit here and criticize the podcast themselves for taking the money. You take the money. I wouldn't mind it. I'm not minding it at all. Because my personal mindset is you should be smart enough anyway to see past the bullshit if it's some bullshit. So I'm not here to criticize the podcast for doing it. But I am here to put out and talk about the sponsors themselves. This is how sponsors look at black folks. Yeah, like the malt liquor billboards back in the 80s and the 90s. Yeah. Ebony magazine ads. Yep. It's the same play over and over and over and over again. Sell degeneracy to black people. And because black folks, we need money like everybody else. So they're not going to turn down those sponsorships. Why should they? Why should they? But the new thing now is getting a liquor or a gambling company or ED company to sponsor a black podcast, black focused podcast, and watch that black focused podcast and elevate those black focused podcasts that are sponsored by gambling and liquor above the grassroots podcast. That's the play. Oh yeah, manscaping products. See, the manscaping products, you're right. I'm not against the manscaping products. That's the one neutral kind of ad that folks get, the manscaping ones. That's like the one that's like, okay, that's not hurting nobody, it's not harming nobody, it's helping folks out. I get that. But you see, I just want to pay attention to the game at play. This is the game at play. Get these Negroes that are already within the system to sell bullshit to you, and we're going to put them in the algorithm above the grassroots people. That's how it works. That's how it works. Now I want to transition the conversation to Snoop. I said a long time ago on this very show, what needs to happen next, is the mainstream people, the people on top, if the mainstreamers want to have cultural cachet, cultural equity, a real strong base and foundation when the system comes against them, they need to start cultivating and developing relationships with the grassroots media. That's the move for anybody out there in the mainstream. Your mainstream actors, you mainstream rappers and producers and actors and athletes. It's cool that y'all go on these DraftKings sponsored shows with the mainstream podcasts, but you got to understand the mainstream podcasts, they're every bit as compromised as NBC. They just let you go a little bit further. They still don't have the full connection with the people. The people with the connection to the people are the people that was able to amass an audience without the approval of the mainstream. And those are the ones that people trust. I love Curtis King TV and his interviews. You know, the company man and his interviews. You got Glasses Malone stuff. You got, Doggy Diamonds. You got all of these other channels with people who are there for the art. That's the direction you mainstreamers need to go, because those are the people that's going to hold you down when you end up in Diddy's situation. Pay attention to Diddy's situation. And y'all know me, I am completely anti-Diddy. I think he killed music. Fuck Diddy. But as I'm watching this trial, it's a whole lot of shit going on with him being a fucking sexual deviant. But nothing yet where he committed of human trafficking crime. Is he an asshole, a degenerate? Yeah, but an asshole, a degenerate, and a human trafficker are two different things. He deserves time for what he did. You shouldn't beat people and all that stuff. But you see what he's going through right now. Where the trial is more about his deviant sexual lifestyle than anything that we all thought we was going to get. I'm waiting for the hammer to drop on this motherfucker because I don't like him. I'm telling y'all right now, if people want to say, oh, Dwan's just defending him because he's a man. No, fuck Diddy and fuck you for saying that. But I do believe the Constitution that was written should hold up for everybody, and people deserve due process, and people should definitely commit to their crimes and pay for their crimes. But liking man jizz is not a crime. The Democrats made sure of that the last 8 years, 12 years they've been in office. They made sure that we all got cool with men liking other men, doing whatever other men do to each other. Y'all the ones that told us we should like that shit. Back in 2002, we were saying Fagget every third word. We were like, man, that shit nasty in the motherfucker. Y'all the ones that got us being like, okay, all right, whatever, it's cool. Now you want to say that's a crime? My thing is, I don't like Diddy, just like I didn't like R. Kelly. I had a crush on Aaliyah, and I saw R. Kelly as the old nigga that was getting the girls that was my age. Back when I was thinking, I didn't like R. Kelly for that shit in 1996. I didn't have to wait for him to piss on a girl to not like that nigga. But put somebody in jail. We should have laws on the books that, okay, you do some horrendous shit, human trafficking, yeah, go to jail. But if your crime is baby oil and man jizz, I'ma just wait and just keep. Maybe they got more to come. Hopefully they got more to come than just what they have. If they don't, but I'm saying all that to say, I ain't about to stick to no goddamn Diddy. Fuck Diddy. All the black people he done harmed all the years, I ain't about to stand up for him either. But what did Diddy during his time on top put out some love, not to Drink Champs, and salute the Drink Champs, but to Curtis King TV or to Thought Crimes. And he went on a circuit touring the real niggas online. He might have a little more to go his way. You mainstreamers, and that's why I want to give a salute to Snoop Dogg. Snoop is the first on this level to do it the way I'm saying it should be done. Well, I'm saying it should be done. The other day, and I saw this on Compton Rick Rock's channel, salute to Compton Rick Rock, always with the content. Let's get to the content. All right, with the content. I'm just fucking with you, Rick Rock. I ain't never met that brother, man, but he seemed like a cool dude. I love his channel. And I was happy to see this. Snoop invited Compton Rick Rock, 8E, Nina Boy, my cousin. I gotta call him. I don't even know if I have his number. But salute to you, cuzzo, Nina Boy. I'm proud of you. Snoop invited them down. Oh, this is Gene Dill. I don't know. That's the wrong video. And he had a conversation with them. This is Snoop Dogg coming off the Olympics. Snoop is probably the most famous rapper in rap history. Snoop, you will see Snoop do a feature for some up and coming artist in Australia. I done seen Snoop do music with cats in Japan. It's like, this dude do music with everybody.
Oh, TV shows on live TV.
Right there. And so Snoop, I thought this was dope. Rick Rock don't strike. You go to Compton Rick Rock's channel. Don't see me strike Compton Rick Rock.
On TV shows, on live TV, on sports.
But you see how he has these people from day-to-day podcasts, community podcasts. I always thought it was good podcast.
Come on, man. I'm trying to be like her. That's my cousin Tate Dog. He's sorry.
And so,
well, thank y'all for coming out tonight.
I think this
I want
was
y'all
so
specifically to come out because I'm dropping some shit like in the next 3 or 4 days, and I wanted to make sure that, you know, real people can see some real shit before it come out. And when we finish watching it, any questions that y'all want to ask, collectively y'all can ask and y'all can film it individually, meaning that you can take the content back to your platforms and use it when you need to, but what we ask is to wait till we give you that date, because nobody knows this is coming. So like, basically when it comes, that's when you go all gas, no price, because I ain't doing no interviews with nobody else, no foreign premieres, none of this shit. So this is like some exclusive shit to some real people. So the project is called Is It a Crime? And the reason why I made it is because...
So what Snoop did was, as if you heard him talking, he invited these, and he also has Big Boy. He also has some mainstream radio there. Big Boy from Power 106 is in the building. I think Angie Martinez is there. So he has some mainstream stuff too. But I thought that this was a good look by Snoop. Go to the niggas that pronounce it podcasts. Because these are going to be the ones that, if something ever happened, these are going to be the cats that hold you down. Mainstream niggas will flip on you in a heartbeat. It's the real deal folks that if you show love and you give love, they'll give love back. So I think that Snoop doing this, and I'm looking for this timestamp I have. I personally think Snoop doing this, again, like I said, was just a really good look. Where's that timestamp? Did I delete it? I may have deleted that when I was doing that mass deletion. Yeah, I think I deleted it, that timestamp. Fuck, figgity fuck. Anyway, let's go ahead and play. There's something around here.
Russell or Sexy Red or even Bring the Roots. I hit him on the DM like, nigga, I fuck with you, cuz. Like, nigga, I'm in LA. I'm like, pull up, nigga. Nigga brought a camera crew. We did like 3 songs in one night. So his energy was like mine used to be. So it reminds me of me, his spirit. And he got a lot of E40, like just that Bay Area hustle. This seemed like a real culmination of all your success. What made you want to get personal with this record like this? It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. Got some good shit to step to. When you act nice, that's when they disrespect.
So as you see, I just want to play a little bit of him just really talking and going back and forth with the people. Go over to Compton Rick Rock's channel for that content and watch the whole video, because I just thought it was dope to see somebody in the mainstream do that. Because to tell you all the truth, that's what it's gonna take. The way this algorithm is gonna get beat. See, it's a two-pronged thing for the mainstream people. It's a two-pronged thing. There's an algorithm right now that's pushing content that got white backers. Okay? And this isn't about being racist towards white people, but when you have white backers, Colin Cowherd, anybody who's been paying attention to Colin Cowherd, he said a lot of white supremacist stuff throughout the years. Barstool Sports, they put out a lot of white supremacist rhetoric throughout the years. At some point, that favor is going to be called. Or at some point, some of these guys' bosses are going to tell them to stand down when it comes to standing up for you. So when the mainstreamers decide to go past NBC, go past MTV, go past the mainstream internet guys and go to the grassroots, you're going to elevate the grassroots and bring people up. They can't win the mainstream cannot win the rhetoric war when there are a lot of voices coming for you and helping you out. But if you're a mainstreamer, if you're a top guy, you have the power to lift up a lot of people on the grassroots to get up and stay up in that algorithm. You have the power. But the question is, are you going to wait until they diddy you to use it? Or are you going to do it while you on top, Kendrick? Are you going to do it while people still somewhat respect you, J. Cole? Is Joey Badass with what his them diss records he got a pretty funny. Are you guys gonna come down, Kevin Durant, on the sports tips? Steph Curry, are y'all gonna support Michael B. Jordan? The grassroots media. That's the question. Ice Cube, we looking for you, Ice Cube. You got a new Friday coming out. I'm putting it out there. Would I like these interviews? Hell yeah, because I'm gonna treat you right. But if I don't, as long as somebody that on the grassroots level get it, and not just somebody, multiple people. Nina Boyd, these are gonna be the people that hold you down. These are gonna be the people that push your shit real hard. Somebody said Ice double talk. Ice Cube ain't never double talk nobody. Stop it. Stop the cap. But that's what it's going to take to build black entertainment back again. Wholesale. It goes back to what the old story I always tell y'all about Arsenio Hall and MC Hammer and hip hop. Arsenio Hall supported hip hop. And hip hop supported Arsenio Hall. But you know who else supported Arsenio Hall? The biggest of the biggest at the time. Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson. 3 biggest Michaels on the planet went to the Arsenio Hall show. Magic Johnson, Arsenio Hall show. The biggest black acts in America supported Arsenio. And through lifting Arsenio up, Arsenio was now able to use a platform that was legitimized by Michael Jackson. Because like I told y'all before, syndication was back then was seen in the same context that YouTube is seen now. The only TV shows that mattered back then were network TV shows, ABC, NBC, CBS. Fox was still a fledgling semi-national network. It wasn't fully a national network in the late 80s. Fox was still coming up. But if you weren't on NBC, ABC, CBS, Michael Jackson, Eddie Murphy, Mike Tyson, or Michael Jordan, they were at the level to where Michael Jackson and Eddie Murphy could call network TV at any time and get a spot to promote on Johnny Carson, to get a time to promote on David Letterman, on Hard Copy, Nightline. They had the power in the 80s. You young niggas, man, there were no Eddie Murphy during the 80s and Michael Jackson during the 80s. That's another level of star that we haven't seen since. There are no comics that have reached the level of stardom that Eddie Murphy had in 1988. 1988, 1989 Murphy, megastar. There are no stars living right now that were as big as Eddie Murphy in 1989. White either, white or black. There are no white stars today as big as Eddie Murphy was in 1989. To give you guys some context. There are no white stars today bigger than Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan in 1989. And those dudes still went to the Arsenio Hall show, lending him a high level of credibility. So when Arsenio Hall opened up his platform to promote a new movie by Robert Townsend, we saw it. Because MC Hammer's about to dance. So we gotta watch this interview with Robert Townsend. So when John Singleton was promoting Boys in the Hood, we saw it. Because Ice Cube performed on that motherfucker. And it became a cottage industry to where a whole group of black greatness got elevated. Because the top supported the up and coming, and the up and coming then lent its support to the disenfranchised. And Snoop was there. Part of the reason why Snoop Doggy Style was so big was Snoop's freestyle on Arsenio. It was Snoop on Arsenio. When you want, for you young niggas that went around 30 years ago, you want to know what made us all anticipate Doggy Style? It wasn't just the videos. It wasn't just the Chronic.
Where did you all meet?
It was this.
His brother Warren G. Warren G! It's all good. Yeah, we used to have I used to be in a group called 213. Me, Warren G, and Nate Dogg. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we used to.
That's when it was this.
Now stand up on your feet and peep the beat. Snoop Doggy Dogg's on the mic, I like to speak. Preach to each and all, I don't stall. Y'all know who the dopest rapper is, his name is Doggy Dogg. I freak and speak and reach to you, cause I'm on the microphone sporting gray and blue.
That's what really kicked Snoop. That's why Snoop had 1 million sales before Doggy Style was released. So what we need, so if the next generation of star, La Russell, Anderson .Paak, I'm calling all you niggas out. Y'all cannot keep ignoring the internet. And if you're smart, you're not going to ignore the people that really care about your success and your music and your art. Because these white boys y'all run into don't give a fuck about your art. They're gonna be the first person, the first people to talk about your drug habit if that ever comes out. You come interview with me, I ain't gonna talk about your drugs. I don't give a fuck. And for those of you who are not on Patreon, I have an interview with Dr. Logan Westbrooks that's up right now. The first black person that headed a major white record label, Capitol Records, and also CBS. He tells a story about how they lifted black music and how they distributed black music in the 70s. Going to the OJs, talking about the OJs. He's talking about a lot of music from the 70s and the early 80s and the late 60s, the golden age of black music. We have a dope interview that's up right now on the membership level here on YouTube and also over on Patreon. It's people down here, it's people out here that really care about the art that you guys put out. Somebody like me, I don't give a fuck about your personal life. My life is better than yours. I don't give a shit what you say. How much money you got, niggas? I love my life, so I don't want your life. I just want your story. Because through your story, we can inspire others to reach their story. That's all we want on the grassroots. So I want to send a special shout out to Snoop Dogg for doing that, for inviting grassroots style media to his world. Because that's what it's going to take. But Snoop can't be the only one. He cannot be the only one. We're going to need Kendrick. And I ain't talking about going on Aiden Ross's platform either, Drake. But we're going to need Kendrick. We're going to need Schoolboy Q. We're going to need all of y'all. If you guys want to get bigger and if you want to elevate and protect yourself and control your narrative, you're going to have people on the grassroots to speak to you if you want to maintain control of your narrative. And it's through the equity that you give these platforms that they rise and elevate. Don't be hoe ass niggas. You dig? And for you sponsors out there, hell yeah, I'll gladly take a liquor sponsorship because I ain't going to be a hypocrite. I'll take a weed or liquor sponsorship because I smoke a lot of weed and I drink. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say I wouldn't. But there's more than that. The black audience buys more than liquor, more than sports gambling. The black audience buys deodorant. Where are the deodorant brands? Everybody listening to me right now buys deodorant. We got 709 people listening right now across all platforms. Well, that's not even including, I got across all platforms, actually, I got 900 people listening across all my platforms. All 900 use shampoo. If they bald like me. They all use hair care products. Everybody use deodorant. Everybody uses lotion. Where are those brands to sponsor black content creators? Everybody wears clothes. Everybody buys shoes. Everybody, I hope, brushes their teeth. Where are those sponsorships for Black podcasts? I want y'all to pay attention to that. Where are y'all? Yeah, Deron Butler. Where is Schoolboy Q? Where is Tyler the Creator? Anderson Paak, BJ Chicago Kid. We need y'all on these podcasts. That's what's gonna help. And if y'all content creators, I mean not content creators, for y'all artists. It ain't like it's a step down coming to somebody on YouTube. Okay? These white boys that y'all run into, like I hate when I would listen to a podcast. I'm not gonna mention who the artist was, because I don't want to come off as if I'm disrespecting this artist. But the dude was just talking about growing up in the hood to this particular artist, and did you have any drug issues? And I'm trying to figure out how this artist got to be so great. What makes what this person create tickle my ear? And this dude only wanted to talk about drugs. And as far as Cap and Joe, you see two different sides of the coin. You see Snoop humbly going to the content creators. And Snoop used to have one of the best shows on YouTube. Press number one if you used to watch GGN back in the day. GGN used to be funny than a motherfucker. I caught every episode of GGN. Especially like the Thanksgiving episodes. Them hoes was funny than a motherfucker. The Thanksgiving GGN special when they have like Too Short, Lunel, Slink. Them hoes used to be funny than a motherfucker. Snoop had these big ass size 37 shoes on the goddamn table. I remember I was watching GGN one day. My wife walked in. She was like, "Why Snoop got the big ass nigga shoes on the table?" Like, I don't know. GGN was the shit. But then you look at Fat Joe, what he's doing, and Jadakiss, I don't want to see Fat Joe bring you down, my brother. Talking shit about Joe Budden and bringing you into some stuff that he's trying to do to get some content. Yeah, I miss GGN. That was a podcast right there. GGN was a real deal podcast. Well, I want to know what y'all think about this. Call in 323-744-7425. 323-744-7425. I want to know what some of y'all think about. You can talk about Cap and Joe. Also, pretty soon I want to cover Michael Rappaport got into it. Do y'all know that Michael Rappaport, when I was reading that Drake lawsuit, the thing that's holding Drake up is that culture vulture Michael Rappaport. This dude sued because Barstool Sports made a diss song about him. You got white supremacists on white supremacists. Crime. And that resulted in a rap battle. We're going to cover that pretty soon too. Yeah, GGN was the shit. T-Love, you said Jada's a clown for that? Why is my shit frozen? Can y'all hear me? I got way too many windows open right now. I got way too many windows open. And I think this... Y'all can hear me? I'm having some issues with the phone line right now. I told you this new phone line, every time I open it, it's some bullshit. Okay, as long as y'all can hear me, it's good. So I don't think y'all gonna be able to call in because this Microsoft Teams shit is frozen. But as long as y'all can hear me, cool. But this Microsoft Teams phone line that I'm using is frozen. So, well, no phone calls today. But as long as y'all can hear me, we good. But yeah, Joe Budden, like, Fat Joe going at Joe Budden like that, I don't like that. See, even if I don't like him, I'm not a big fan of 50 Cent. I think he's a funny troll or whatever. But even if I don't like a guy, I'm not a big fan of the Joe Budden podcast. It's interesting, but not interesting enough for me to get on. I've never really followed the Joe Budden podcast. Never really followed it. But let me see if that. I see you calling, but I can't. I don't know what's going on. Microsoft Teams is frozen. This team shit is frozen. But with that being said, I don't want to see no beef between nobody. And I can't even mute the shit because the shit's frozen. I don't know what the fuck to do, y'all. Like, everything is frozen. This Teams is is like a fucking virus in my computer. Ever since they switched from Skype to Teams, it's been calamity. Every time I think it's fixed, it's some bullshit. So please don't call in because I can't stop it. Don't call in. Because it's ringing. I can't answer and I can't stop it from ringing. And I can't hit mute either. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Stop calling in, people. Hang up. Because Teams just froze my whole shit. Microsoft, get this cheap shit out of here. Somebody said, I can't sign out, I'm frozen. If I wasn't frozen, I could do whatever the hell I want to do. I'm surprised this shit's even working. Okay, what if I do this? Let me see if I can. Okay, there we go. I was able to do this shit through the keyboard commands. I was able to do some keyboard commands to quit out of Teams. So yeah, sorry about that, y'all. Ain't gonna be no phone calls. Ain't gonna be no phone calls because every time I open up Teams, it's something fucking new. Every single goddamn time. Microsoft, you ain't shit. And I can't scroll and see the chat. Oh well. But anyway, I gotta get off this thing anyway pretty soon. Cause I'm over about to get on my grill. I got a brisket I'm about to smoke. And I got some jerk chicken. My wife did the jerking on the chicken yesterday. It's been marinating for 24 hours. I'm about to get my red oak wood and smoke this shit out this chicken. And brisket. But I ain't doing a brisket for 12 fucking hours. Hell nah. I'm putting my brisket in a motherfucking pressure cooker. I'm gonna pressure cook that shit down, then smoke it for about 3 hours. I ain't about to smoke no 12 goddamn hours. I'm about to put this shit in the pressure cooker. In the Ninja, nigga. And then smoke it at about 220, 225 for about 3 hours. But let's stick with it, folks. Stick with the grassroots. I appreciate everybody that listens. Go to dwannb.com. Go to my Patreon. Also, if you want to report, a life report, yearly report, or financial report based on your birthday and your cards, hit me up. Email me info@dwannb.com. Take advantage of this discount that I'm offering before I put it up on my site. Take advantage of the multi-report discount that I'm offering now before I put it up on my site. All right? Thank y'all again for listening. Remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Thank y'all again for listening. We'll be back. If not tonight, late night, we'll be back tomorrow. All right? Y'all have a good one. This shit don't even want to quit out.